What's going on, everyone? It's Brody here. Welcome back to another YouTube video. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been on holidays, and while I was on holidays, I did travel through Japan on my way over and on my way back to Europe. So I did stop in and look at a couple of card stores in Tokyo and Osaka. I didn't spend too much money. I didn't spend too much time looking at cards because it wasn't the primary thing I was there for. But I did want to show off some of those cards that I purchased and some of the product I picked up. But I'll start with Japan in Tokyo first. In Tokyo, I visited the Pokemon Center Tokyo DX store, and I later found out DX stands for like larger, more products, more variation of product store, basically. So I think there's two stores in Tokyo, and I decided to visit the bigger one. It was pretty awesome, super busy, kids everywhere, adults everywhere, which was pretty funny, and just so much going on. I picked up a couple of sealed products, which I'll show shortly, and I also picked up a couple of packs, which I opened. Some of these cards that are sitting here are actually out of the pack. So there's a Lucario and a Spirit. Is that Spirit Bomb? Spirit Tomb or something like that. And then on the way back in Osaka, I really only had like an hour or two that I had a look at some cards, and I only picked up one there. So I didn't really pick up much, but I've got a small little haul to probably not even call it a haul, but I've got a few cards to show off from that and a few sealed things. So I'll flip the camera around and we'll go through that now. All right, so I got the camera flipped around. First thing, I went to, as I mentioned, the Tokyo DX store. And this is the sealed product I picked up. So I picked up both these. I picked up these old maid cards. You might be, familiar with these. I picked up 2 packets of those. This is probably the less popular one, I would say, because more of the popular Pokemon are in the red deck. So I picked up 2 of those. I haven't graded those cards for a long time, but I thought I'd pick up the decks, maybe to sell them on the secondary market at some stage. But I will probably open one and do some YouTube content on it, because I did one on the red box, and that got some pretty good reviews and comments and people interested in that. So the other thing I bought was this card game. Apparently PSA grades these, so I'm actually going to open these for some YouTube content and maybe grade some of the cards. It's hard to find photos of what's actually in the deck, and there's a few product like placements inside the little box that these are in, so I could kind of see some of the cards. But on the back here, I can see that there's a Rayquaza, Pikachu, and a Bulbasaur. So I'm pretty interested to open this and actually see what the cards look like. The Rayquaza looks pretty good there, even though it's upside down on the box. But yeah, I'm probably going to open a box for content and maybe grade some of the cards. It sounds like PSA will grade them, so I'll just have to double check that. This box got a little bit dinged because I took it all over Europe, so I'll probably open that one and keep the other one sealed. I think you can probably pick these up on eBay at the moment for maybe like $50 in AED, 50 Australian dollars for anyone watching at home. And I think for me, I might have only paid like $15 or $20. So it seems like there's a bit of margin there at least. But yeah, the intent wasn't really to buy and sell like the whole boxes. It was just like to get them because I thought it was a cool little product to open and see what's inside. Okay, so now onto the card point of view. So like I mentioned at the start, I really only spent a couple of hours looking at card shops. I was primarily based in Asakusa, so I was close to Akihabara, which is one of the main places that people go to buy cards. I guess there's a lot of mixed reviews around pricing of cards in Akihabara because it's the most popular place that people go to. So I thought the prices were pretty similar to Last Solds and to other places I've looked at buying cards before. So I'll just sort of go through each one of these, and I'll just note that these cards aren't the final price because I did get the duty-free amount. So basically this minus 10% is what I paid for these cards in yen. And if you're also watching at home, you can do a pretty simple calculation that gives you a rough estimate of the pricing by just taking off the last 2 numbers and then rounding up or down. So if this was 1980 yen, that's probably about $20. And then so if you took off 10% off that, yeah, we're probably around, what's that, 18? I don't know. My maths isn't good right now. I'm not thinking. So we pick up a couple of cards, more so stuff that I just thought were cool cards, not stuff I necessarily wanted to buy with the intent to flip them. They're just cards that I liked and Sam liked when she came with me to the shop, so she was able to have a look at some of the cards. I did get this Ghastly back recently in a PSA 10 in English from Temporal Forces, so I'm pretty happy with that because those go for a lot of money compared to these guys. But yeah, I've always really liked this card. I've always liked the Temporal Forces set. So yeah, pretty cool to pick that up. Picked up the Ivysaur, which Sam liked. She's a big fan of Ivysaur, so I got that for her. And again, that was probably only like $9 minus the 10% tax. Got the Groudon. Also have graded these before in English. And I know that story that I've mentioned before on the channel when I graded the Groudon when it was about 30 Australian dollars. So that was really early days when it first dropped. It dropped down in price to 30, and I don't think it's ever moved back to that price since. So picked up the Japanese copy. I got the Tatsugiri full art. Haven't been able to get one of these in English, which I'd really like to do. A friend of mine, she really likes Tatsugiri, so I'm probably going to grade it and give it to her as a gift if she's keen on it. Picked up the new Steelix from, what sets this out of? I can't even think. Is it in the new Mega set? I don't know. I'm a bit lost at the moment coming back from holidays. I think this is in the new Mega set. The Steelix I'm a big fan of. I really want to try to pick this up in English. I think it's a banger card. So it's, he looks beastie as in this photo, or this illustration, sorry. We've got a Hydreigon, which I have bought before in Japanese, and I have a copy in English that I sent to PSA that I got from the collector's market when I was in Brisbane. So yeah, about $38, I suppose, or $37 roughly. I just wanted to pick up another one of these just so I can get it in English and Japanese, and I'm assuming all the Japanese ones I did get will grade 10, so I'm hoping that comes through. Got a second Ivysaur, sorry, one for Sam, and then the other one I was thinking I was going to grade. And then I just got a Squirtle from 151 as well. So yeah, nothing too crazy, just a couple cards. The couple stores that I did go to in Akihabara, I didn't have a heap of the sort of higher end cards. They'd probably all, I think, just been sold off. I think they're pretty, the turnover of cards would be similar to what it's like here in Australia when the good cards come in. They probably usually go out quite quickly. And then for Osaka, when I went there, I only picked up one card, like I mentioned at the start of the video, and that was this pretty cool Top Sun Prism Flareon. So these are from like 1996. I paid about $100. I think the conversion ended up being about $102. So I didn't end up, this store didn't have any duty-free options, so you couldn't get the 10% back. They also took credit card, which was awesome. And it's really cool. I've been actually following these Prism Top Sun cards for a long time. Always kind of check in on them and see what they're doing. They're really low pop. They're really hard to grade. Obviously, 1996, that's so long ago now. It was a couple of years after I was born. And I just really like the artwork on a lot of them. They've got that sort of real Ken Sugimori, like original, like OG, probably not Ken Sugimori as the artist, but they've got that real OG artwork, and the prism foil is really cool. You see that under the camera lens. It's actually really neat. So I'd love to probably pick up, I'm not going to say all of them because that would be quite a mission, but to get the Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon in like high grades, maybe like a PSA 8 or higher would be really cool. I don't even know if a lot of them have PSA 10s. Like I think on a lot of the cards, the highest is a PSA 9 just because there's just not that many out there. They're all probably dinged around when they first came out. They're slightly smaller than a regular TCG card, and I guess I would say they're probably a little bit more flimsy. They're not like that same sort of card stock. But yeah, I'm probably going to grade this one just as like a PC item because it's just cool. Like I was able to find one. They did have Blastoise in this store I went to that I got this in Osaka. They had Blastoise there. I think that was about 150 roughly. And then I think they had a Machamp and something else. And I think those ones are a bit worse a condition just because they had the yellow stickers on them. If you don't know about the stickering and stuff, a lot of the stores will sticker based on the condition of the card. So I think, if it's got like yellow or other different colors, it means that the level of quality is lower, so it's not near mint. It might be just like light played or moderate played and stuff like that, but they'll have different colors to coordinate basically on the the card quality. So that is my little Japan haul. As I mentioned, like very little, nothing too crazy. I didn't go out there spending like thousands of dollars. I didn't buy heaps of cards. It was very much like, hey, I'm going to be in Japan. I'll do something cool while I'm there. I'll go look at some card stores and see what I can pick up. In other news, if you have seen my Instagram while I was traveling overseas, I've been really inactive, but I did post that I did finish my Sword and Shield alt art PSA 10 set. So finally I've graded all of those in a PSA 10. I'm just waiting for those to come back from the PSA dealer who sent those off for me, which is Greg at PCGC. If you want any more details about who I've been using for that, you can reach out to me on Instagram or just drop me a comment in the video below. But yeah, otherwise that video will be coming out soon. I'll be talking about that whole alt art set, which has taken me 3 years to complete. So I'm really happy about that. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll catch you all very soon with some more content for my vendor stuff that's coming up in November. See ya. Bye.